I'm doing kind of something new at my age. Okay.
I love that.
So anyway, so I'm hoping to get some great information from you. Okay. So the first thing I want to know is, there are lots of kinds of coaches. I'm concentrating on business coaches, not life coaches. I'm concentrating on business coaches. And I want your opinion of what does a business coach do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. So I come from a consulting background. I have a 15-year history of really business strategy. And I had my MBA. I earned my MBA at USC Marshall School of Business. My first job was working for a billionaire, a startup. Okay. And then I went to USC to get formal training and realized I need more training and I need to be more polished. So I went to PwC and worked there as a financial consultant for Fortune 500 companies for 9 years, traveled all over the country, and I actually also worked at USC. I worked as an intern, an MBA intern, and worked on M&A and did global M&A. And so really, really significant.
I'm going to just butt in for 1 second. My son went to US. What is it, Marshall? He graduated from there.
That's awesome. Did he go for his MBA or for undergrad?
Graduate school. He actually just quit his job recently. He was the CIO for the Screen Actors Guild.
Wow.
My son. Okay, and he quit that job, and now he's the CIO for the George Lucas Museum that's being built in LA.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
So he's right underneath George Lucas. He's the Star Wars guy.
My husband would love to hang out with him.
Well, he's young. He's 40.
Yeah. Oh, my husband and him need to become friends. I'm like, he's a little nerdy, and it's good for us to connect these guys because, at 40, there's not a lot of people that are still doing Star Wars, at least openly.
Well, there's a huge museum that's going to be going up in about 2 years.
Oh, so, that is incredible.
Yeah, I'm really proud of I have 3 children, so, and 6 grandchildren. Okay. That's why I call myself a grandmapreneur, by the way, because of I have 3 of the grandchildren living with me. So I'm running a business on the side. Okay. I mean, because my grandkids come first, but I have a lot of energy. So, okay. So now you're going to tell me about your MBA. I'm sorry. I just had to put that in about the school.
I love that. And separately, I also would love if we could have you on my podcast, because I actually want to ask you more, but I'll go ahead and continue. Okay. So I came from a big background, right? Being one of the only females kind of in the boardroom, so to speak, right? And so as I embarked on this journey of prioritizing my family and still having a large, material business background, I started to understand that this online space and this kind of new age has a lot of these business coaches. And so like you, I said, well, what do they do? Right? Well, anyone that's ever tried to build their business knows, especially in this day and age, that it is not easy. It's not as simple as it looks. And why is that? Because we're in a new age, right? So this idea of this online, how do we work with the internet? That's something that's newer for this day and age, right? So I think with that, it adds a lot of complexities from a technical perspective and also from a process perspective. Further, it's a very concentrated space. So I think in that particular space, you see a lot of business coaches because you need to get to your results faster, right? And so what I see, and this goes for really any business coach. So I do this with my 7 and 8 figure clients. And I also do this with my smaller solopreneur clients, is that what I would say a business coach does is they help you become aware of your strengths and capabilities. So, and that can be, again, for the individual, or it can be for your company, depending on which type of client we're talking about. And they help you uncover, what is your vision here? And what are the gaps? Why are you stuck? What are the gaps that we need to overcome? Where do we need to fill those in so that you can accelerate your ability to reach your transformation faster? And in many cases, what I've seen is actually almost all of my clients, they're not necessarily new business owners, but they've been stuck in the same process. And they're sitting there wondering, how come I'm not making more money? How come my business isn't working and I'm not getting to the point that I want to get? And so as we uncover what they're doing currently, then we can uncover, okay, this is what you're doing currently. Does that match your vision? Why or why not? So we really kind of come in and we help them get clarity around what is their vision and what is it specifically, step by step. What do we need to do? What actions do we need to take? What systems need to be in place? What processes are missing in my business to get me to the point that I want to be at?
Right. That's great. That's great. So I don't know that, and I need help with that. Although my situation is a little bit different because I'm having the time of my life. And I already raised my family. I was a college teacher for over 40 years. And so I'm retired, but far from it. So my greatest joy is I want to show other older people that, you don't have to stop living. We're still alive and we can do whatever we want to do. So money would be nice. Huh?
I was going to say that's so important, especially when you have your health and you have the ability to live and have that choice. Finally, you want to maximize that experience because it's a very sacred place to be in your life.
Right. So I want to know, what are your strengths for as a business coach? And I looked at your website and I'm so impressed. Okay.
Oh,
it's great what you do. And it's wonderful. So what are your strengths?
Yeah. Thank you for asking. So I've been told by my clients, and this is both in my formal consulting career and also today in my current coaching business, the thing that my clients tell me makes me stand out is that I listen. I really listen to them.
I can see that.
Yes. And that's something that, from a sales perspective is actually the biggest key, because really the definition of sales is finding a need and filling it. It's just that simple. And so what's super important is for all of us to sit down and really understand what is the true pain point of the client in their words, not what we think it is, not what we want to solve because we know we can solve some other problem. What is their problem? And it's a skill to be able to truly get them to trust you enough to open up and really kind of be vulnerable to explain specifically what they are struggling with. Because isn't it hard for all of us to raise our hand and say, I'm not good at this one thing, or I have a blind spot on this one thing? I mean, that's a hard thing to kind of come clean and say, I'm really struggling with this, right? So as a coach or as a consultant, you need to be able to connect with your client, get them comfortable, and then really be able to know which questions to ask so that you reveal what their true struggles are. And it's a process, because sometimes what they tell you initially their problem is not actually their problem. Oftentimes their problem is much deeper or much broader. So teasing that out and awakening that awareness in them and in myself so that I can match. So now that we know truly what your problem is, what's your vision? How do we get you there? Right. So it's that listening that is so, so important. And I'm told that's something that I do well. And I'm very proud of that.
That sounds great. That's so important. Some business coaches combine business with therapy. What do you think about that?
I think it's a slippery slope, right? Because and this is where qualifying your customer and having boundaries is, right? Because I'm not a life coach and I'm certainly not a therapist. And I'm not really even your friend. I'm a coach. It's a professional relationship. So I think being able to really understand to a point, right? To a point where that boundary is. So again, your client might reveal some personal things to you. Maybe they're struggling with their finances and they're struggling to put food on the table for their family. I mean, that's a very personal thing to admit, right? But it's my job to keep the interaction professional, right?
Exactly.
It is my job to set that boundary because my value is not to be your therapist. That's not my role. I'm not actually certified in that. I'm not licensed. I'm not a licensed therapist and I'm not a licensed life coach. I'm a business coach, right? So there's a very clear distinction there. So I think there's this interesting, delicate balance between getting folks comfortable, yet keeping things to be in scope for the discussion and focused around the issues at hand while still understanding and learning who your client is, what is their personality, what are their weaknesses in their personality, or where do they struggle personally? And then how do we put a nice clear box around that so that we can achieve the transformation? Because at the end of the day, you're hiring me not to be your life coach or your therapist. You're hiring me because you trust me and you trust me to take you through a transformation and get you the results in your business.
Have you ever had any clients that you didn't want to work with?
Yes. I just had to, I released them. I released them.
I think some people are uncoachable. Maybe they think they know it all. Is that the problem?
That is a problem. And I also think, to your point, there's this idea of if a client if they're spread too thin, or perhaps they're not in a place or a state of mind for whatever their reasons might be. And by the way, it's not for me to judge. Sometimes the timing isn't right. They're not truly in a state of mind to be receptive to coaching. And it's because they're in fight or flight, they're scattered, they're dealing with other issues, and they're just not able to really be present and consume and go through that process of transformation because, it's work, right? Like I don't go and do the work for you. I facilitate, right?
Right.
And
so you hold me accountable.
I hold you accountable. I give you the guidance. We give you the frameworks. I give you we've come up with the step-by-step, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to go, you're the CEO of your business. You're the expert in your area and your respective area, right? And I need to empower and enable you to do your craft. So yes.
So this is actually great. Now I'm going to ask you a specific question about myself. Okay. So have you ever coached somebody with a product?
Yes.
Like a consumer good?
Yes, I have.
Because that's important to me because there are different coaches who might, have different businesses. So I was actually in Clubhouse and trying to figure out what is my brand. And I'll tell you what they suggested to me afterwards, because I was totally lost on my brand. At age 68, I became an inventor. Okay. And most of my products are for older people because I think it's an underserved market. Nobody cares about you, when you're older. So my first product was I invented because I used to go out to dinner with my friends. And we had to pass around reading glasses because we could not read the small print on the menu. Maybe you've gone out with your parents or your grandparents and noticed that problem. Or the older we get, the worse, the smaller the print gets. So this is my product. It's called Tip and Split, and it's got a magnifier so you can read the menu and the bill. And all restaurants are dark, so I have a little light that shines in the back so you can see, because I used to have to go look all over for a candle. And then you can also figure out the tip and split the bill in 3 seconds. So younger people don't get my product. I understand that. Millennials will say, well, we have apps for that. There's even an app that can magnify it. But I just don't think your grandma is going to want to use an app at the dinner table. I just don't think so. And also a difference between my age and younger people is that we don't like the smartphone at the table. We like to sit with our family or our friends and talk and not have everyone checking over their text messages. So that was my first product. And I did this all by myself. And then during COVID, I did a big pivot because I didn't want to encourage older people to go out to restaurants. First of all, they were all closed. And second of all, even if some people would go out, I don't want to tell them to go out and, expose themselves to COVID. So what I did is I tried to think of something fun and productive and meaningful to do during COVID. So what I did is I gathered pictures from photo albums. And young people don't really have photo albums because you have your phone. But older people have tons of pictures in photo albums and shoeboxes. So I went through all of those and I gathered them together and I actually made a book. This is my book. That's me when I was young.
Oh, wow.
The reason I made this book is because I want my grandchildren and future generations to know a little bit about their ancestors. And I will be one of their ancestors. And I find so many people who I talk to who said, oh, my grandma died. I wish I had done it with her. So I'm trying to encourage young people like you, sit around the kitchen table with your grandparents and interview them, and write their story. Because I learned so many things by writing this book, because I looked up things I didn't know. And I contacted relatives, and through contacting one of my cousins, I found out that my grandparents immigrated to the United States from Poland in 1912, and they had to postpone their trip because my grandma had morning sickness. And the trip that they postponed was on the Titanic. They had tickets for the Titanic.
Oh,
isn't that something? I didn't know that. And my oldest grandson is 9, and he is fascinated with that because before I even knew that, he used to watch Titanic documentaries all day long. And so I'm sharing with him some of my history because they're not going to know it once I'm gone. My mom never even told me that. So I have so many little stories I want to tell them about my ancestors. And one of my stories is I have this picture of my mother, my sister, and me. I have actually 4 brothers. There were 6 of us. And I said, see the car we're standing next to? It's a Plymouth. And I said, I was born in that car. I didn't quite make it to the hospital. Yeah. So I have about 20. No, I have more. I have stories about everything. So I take the pictures and then I write a little caption about it so that everybody is going to know, because how would people know this unless I tell them? So this is my newest project, and I actually call it Write Your Selfie. And the reason I call it that is because people your age do selfies all the time. People my age do not do selfies. So this is a chance for them to write their selfie, because this is all pictures with captions. So this is my new product. Okay. And I wrote a course. I have a video course, and I'm just now finishing up an ebook about it because I want to promote it. So this is the thing. I went into Clubhouse and I said, I don't know what my brand is. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to ask you, but 2 people gave me the best answer. They said, Grandmapreneur. I fell in love. I've told my mom about 6 times about you because of that. That is the most brilliant brand. Thank you. I love it too. And I have the trademark of it. And I'm trying to figure out how to brand myself. And you do branding, right? Yes. So I have to figure out. But I'm not stopping with inventions. Okay? By the way.
Connie, do you have a team?
No.
Oh my God.
No, that's why I decided I need one. I need one. The only team I have now is I hired somebody to do a website audit because some of my things weren't syncing. Like if you would order a tip and split, it would say write your selfie. So,
okay.
So I don't have a team, but I did about 3 weeks ago. I hired somebody for Instagram because of my age, I never even knew how to do Instagram because I am not good using the phone and I couldn't figure out how to post a picture on my phone. So now I figured out you can do it from the computer with Instagram. Did you know that?
You can. And it's funny you mentioned that because I didn't know that about a month ago. And I just learned that from one of my students, actually, funny enough.
Well, I had to learn that, but I have this incredible social media person who posts every day. And it's unbelievable how much work you have to do with Instagram. It really is. It is. So I have somebody doing it for me and I will go on and respond.
Yes. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's great.
But that's the only person working for me now. So I figured now I need a business coach so I can scale or whatever. I'm not a 6-figure business, by the way. I mean, certainly not a 9-figure, not 9-figure, not 8, not 7, not even 6.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. You have to start somewhere, but that right there is where the business coach comes in to accelerate that.
So, I've been working alone and it's not easy. And I don't even talk to my friends about my business.
Yeah.
They don't.
They're probably, they're not, you're on your own. I mean, I'm very drawn to you because I see that you're a doer. You're not only a dreamer, but you actually go out and roll up your sleeves and figure it out and go get things done, which is a very rare trait.
I just put this whole video thing together. Last week, I started contacting people who I admire on Clubhouse. I looked up all your bios. I looked up everything, and I tried to pick the top people, and everybody said yes.
I wonder if you couldn't just pitch it to another PR agency and get it.
I don't know. I don't know. I actually chose Entrepreneur Magazine because in January, I published an article. It was about 6 reasons to pursue entrepreneurship in your retirement. And I got a lot of great feedback on it. I think I sent you that article.
Yeah.
Do you have any words that can help somebody who's a new entrepreneur, what they should look for? Or any words?
Yeah, I would say it is worth investing. I personally was very skeptical of investing because let me tell you, when you don't have an income as far as the new venture goes, it's very scary to put money out into your business.
Right.
Right. And so I would say once you find somebody that has the results you think you want, then go take their coaching program or engage them. So start with that because you're going to get the results of somebody you're basically paying to get the same results that they have gotten for themselves. So find that person that is doing what it is you want to be doing and spend the money and the time and learn as much as you can. Because let me tell you, if you can get it done in 6 months versus 3 years, it is worth that $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever X number of dollars. It is worth it.
Well, see, that's exactly what I thought. Before I'm going to go spend money, I'm going to do a little research. And I thought other people might like this too.
And there is an entire community that is, and I personally have clients in that demographic that are doing various things. And essentially what they are doing, and the mission, I think, of really all of you is that you're all in this beautiful place in your life where you're wrapping up your traditional careers. You still have your health, you have enough money, financial security. You don't always like more money because, it'd be nice to have even more, but you're at this place where you have the time and the energy to go start doing things that you've dreamt of without being, stressed and a slave to it and all this stuff. And it's such a sacred place in your life where you have that opportunity. And there is a thriving community out there for you that you should be.
You know, I was introduced to Dax, and he's great. And so I do go on Clubhouse, but what I'm doing with my Instagram manager is instead of there are not many people, old people don't go on Instagram, let's face it. Okay. So she's now posting this for people who are young to buy it for their parents or their grandparents.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
This Write Your Selfie, I'm advertising for people like you to bond with your, the older people in your family and maybe get it for them as a gift. But they might need some help doing it. Even little things like I know, like to get your pictures from a photo album, you have to either scan it or take a picture of it, and then I tell them what to do with it. But they don't even understand that. Do you have grandparents?
They passed, all of them, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, but it would be hard to teach them how to do that. So I think it's really good if they have somebody young to work with them and say, here. And, somebody suggested also this is good for somebody who's maybe suffering from an illness, like cancer or something, and they have 6 months. I think they want to let people know about them, after they're gone. So I have so many possibilities with my products. I've worked alone. So I'm sharing all this with you because I think you're great. I'm so happy to be speaking with you. And
likewise. And I'm honored that you found me and you picked me. So I really am very honored, and I'm so impressed with everything that you're about and that you're doing. Really, thank you. I've really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much.